Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're doing a favorites video. It's been a little while since I've done one of these on my channel. I like to really wait a while before I do these. That's why I don't do them every single month until I have a really good group of products to share with you. I have some makeup, of course. I have skincare, some hair stuff, and a few just random things that I'm loving that I wanted to share. That is today's video. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty content here on YouTube. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into the favorites. All right, let's get started with complexion products. Product number one, I guess I'll kind of talk about these together, are these from Huda Beauty. So this is the new Huda Easy Blur Primer and the Easy Blur Foundation. Now, I did a whole review on both of these together, but I've been really playing around with them since then, and I have some thoughts on these. I really like both of them. The primer is silicone free, so it actually feels like a silicone primer, but it's not. It's very smoothing though, and it has kind of a cooling sensation, but there is no silicone in it. What I love about this is honestly not really pairing it with this. I don't mind pairing it with this, but I like to pair this actually with glowier foundations, and there's one foundation I'm going to mention next that pairs really well with this. So this is a really nice smoothing primer on my skin. It's very, very mattifying without making your skin feel kind of dry and chalky, but it's still very smoothing on the skin, and it's water-based, so there's no silicone in it. But I've really been enjoying it. I don't know that I notice a ton in terms of longevity with the Huda foundation when I use this. I think it wears well with or without the primer, but if you like a really smoothing base underneath makeup, whether it's this or another foundation, I do really enjoy this primer from Huda. And I also love the foundation. This is actually the foundation that I have on today. This one is the shade Shortbread. In my review, I actually had a different shade, which was Chai. Chai was a little bit deep for me. I can make it work, but Shortbread is a much better match. So this is the one that I have on today, and it's a great match for me, actually. This is a really nice light to medium coverage. It's not as full coverage as I personally thought it was going to be. Now, you can kind of build it up a little bit. I do find if you try to layer it too much, it doesn't build really, really well once you start really layering it on. So I do a really thin layer, and then I'll add just a little bit more where I need more coverage. But I do find just one pretty solid layer of this is kind of the best way to apply it. But what I will say about this is very long wearing. I took this to Florida with me, and if you've been to Florida, you know it is hot. It is humid, and I wore this without the primer. We went out to dinner one night, I wore this, and it was actually kind of misting, raining, and it was humid. And this lasted so beautifully. By the time we got back and I went to take my makeup off, I was just shocked by how pretty this still looked. So this is a very long-wearing product on my skin type. My skin type is normal with an oilier T-zone. So I've really been enjoying this. I actually don't mind the packaging at all. This is a foundation. I didn't do it like this today, but it's really easy to just kind of squirt it on your face, which I personally don't mind. It's nothing special, but I like it, and I've really been enjoying this one. The glowy foundation that I was going to mention is this one. Yes, I am putting the Patrick Ta foundation in here. I know this one is not everyone's favorite, but I personally really like it, and what I've been testing it with is this Huda primer. If you pair this with this, it's a very beautiful combo. Now, obviously, you don't want to have to buy a specific primer to wear with a specific foundation. I just happen to have purchased both of these, and I tried them together, and they work great together because they're both water-based. This is extremely dewy and glowy. This mattifies the skin, and this takes away just enough of that glow. For this, it's still glowy, so don't get me wrong. This doesn't even take away all the glow from this, but it definitely tones the glow down. And I also think this one I do think makes a difference in terms of longevity with this foundation. But do I think everybody's gonna like this? No. Is it gonna be too glowy for some people? Definitely, if you have oily skin, even with a primer, I would say probably skip this one. It's just not going to be for your skin type. But For me personally, I really like it, especially when I pair it with this. I wear the shade number 10, and it's also a spot on shade match for me as well. I also think the bottle on this is one of the prettiest we've seen this whole year. Because this is so glowy, it is nice that the formula can be manipulated a little bit with primer and powder. That's honestly how I wear this. When I wear it, I either use that Huda primer or I really use a good loose setting powder. And it lasts really well on me like that. But again, I don't have super, super oily skin, but it does last well on me. And one other thing I wanted to point out, I'm very happy to see Patrick Ta actually made neutral shades in this foundation. This one is a neutral tone. It's shade number 10. This is a true neutral, and that is so hard to find now in foundations and concealers. And when I was in store and I was looking at the shades, there are actual neutral undertones this time that I just wanted to point out because that is not common these days. So really happy with that as well. And then one other foundation I just wanted to mention. This is not new, but I've been using it so much I can't not put it in this video. I have re-fallen in love with Armani Luminous Silk. I wear the shade 5 in this, and I don't know where I've been the last like year or two with this, but I've always liked it okay, but I've never been just in love with this formula. But this foundation lately, I don't know if my skin has changed or what. Maybe it's just, you know, I'm getting older. I don't know. But this has just been the one for me lately that I've been reaching for over and over and over and over and over. Whenever I want my makeup to look really good, this is the one lately I've been reaching for. And it's such a surprise because, like I said, I've never really just been absolutely in love with it. But this is a foundation that I truly think would work on all skin types. Even though it has luminous in the title, it's actually not that luminous to me. It's more, it has just like a slight natural kind of skin finish to it. I wouldn't call it luminous though, or glowy. It's really, really beautiful. It's thin on the skin. It doesn't look or feel heavy, and it's very long wearing. Great shade range. I just wanted to put it in here because this is one I have been reaching for constantly. All right, let's move into concealer. My number one favorite of all the concealers that I've been testing and using lately has to be the Westman Atelier Vital Skincare, I believe. Yes, concealer. I have the shade L4. This is by far my favorite of all the new concealers that I've tried lately. This gives a great amount of coverage. It's very creamy. It is a little bit on the thicker side, but it's very creamy. It's not drying at all, and it wears beautifully throughout the day. It gives, I would say, medium to buildable, veering into full coverage. I don't know if you could say it's like a full-on full coverage, but the coverage is great, and I have just thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the component. It is on the expensive side, but to me, it is well worth it. I mean, the packaging is just gorgeous. It's heavy. I really love every time I use this. It's, I don't know, Westman Atelier is one of those brands that it just, I don't know, makes you feel a certain way when you use their products. They're just so nice and luxurious. I really love the brand, but this is definitely one of their best products, in my opinion, and I've tried most of them. I think most people would like this, unless you do not like medium to fuller coverage. If you're looking for a light coverage, that is not going to be this. The next one I'm going to mention is definitely on the lighter coverage side, but this one I love. It does remind me of Natasha Denona a little bit. So if you didn't love that one, you might not love this one. I do find this one to be just slightly more hydrating than Natasha Denona, but the consistencies do remind me of each other. But overall, of all the concealers lately that I've been testing, this one is my absolute favorite. However, there is one other one I am going to put in here. I know this one's kind of become controversial, I guess, but I do think the Victoria Beckham concealer pen is a beautiful product. Now, is it just absurdly expensive? Yes, it is. I mean, I'm not going to tell you that it's not. It definitely is for the amount of product that you get. You don't get a ton of coverage with this. I would say it's light medium coverage in my opinion. Now you can kind of build it up a little bit, but again, that's not really this type of product. This is more of like a light makeup or no makeup days kind of product for me. So I do find just applying one decent layer of it, I like the way it looks that way the best. But I wear the shade LN1, and this is in collaboration with Augustinus Bader. I did do an entire video on this that I can link for you if you want to see that, but I do love this product. But it's going to depend on you. Do you like a light coverage? Does it mean anything to you that it's made in collaboration with Augustinus Bader and his TCF8 complex? Do you love Victoria Beckham Beauty? Some people just really love this brand and they want to try a complexion product. This is kind of her first step into the complexion product area. And I will say it is a beautiful product. It's a little bit like a tinted eye cream to me, with a little bit more pigment than you would think of a tinted eye cream. That's what it reminds me of. It's very beautiful under the eyes. It wears beautifully. It's, to me, more of a natural finish under the eyes, which I really like. And although it is, you know, a lighter weight, lighter coverage product, the wear on this is actually pretty good for what it is. So I really do enjoy this one as well. But yes, is it crazy expensive? Yes. Yes, it is. But is it very beautiful? Yes, it is. All right, I really only have one powder to mention, and it's the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. This is a fantastic powder. I've been testing this for probably about a month at this point, and this has been a true favorite since I've tried it. The more I use it, the more I like it. I have the shade number 2, which is light neutral, and so many things that I like about this, but the main thing being this mattifies and sets the makeup, and it actually looks like, I'll get to what I don't like about it. The packaging is very difficult, but this is a thicker looking powder. Like, it doesn't look extremely finely milled just when you look at it, but when you apply it, it's like, I don't know, it's like it just melts into the skin and it looks so seamless and gorgeous. I think he did an incredible job with this powder, and I really love the shade number 2. It really matches my skin well, so it's not a brightening powder. It definitely just kind of matches my skin. I have been using it more to set like my whole face as opposed to my under eye area. I've been kind of testing the Kosas Candy Powder and the Tower 28 Pink Paradise Powder. I forget which one it is. Those are kind of the ones I've been experimenting with more under my eyes, but I do like this one under my eyes. But I think it really shines with just setting your whole face. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I have been doing what Mario does, which he uses a brush to kind of lightly set, and then he uses his puff and kind of sets in areas that need a little bit more powder. That's what I've been doing, and I've been loving it. I think this is such an amazing loose powder. I just realized the only thing I didn't really touch on is I wish they had made this into like a sifter where you can close it off, because I can't really turn it anymore or I'll spill the powder. But it gets all this powder here, especially if you travel with it, and then you can't, it's just hard to work with. It kind of makes a mess. It's hard to get it out without it getting everywhere. So that's one thing I wish they had done differently, but other than that, it's a great product. All right, I don't really have any brand new bronzers, but I do have one I want to mention. And this is crazy because I almost decluttered this product. And now I'm like, Blair, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And it's this one from Hourglass. This Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Nude Bronze Light. I have never fallen in love with this product until now. I've owned this for at least a year, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I just never really fell in love with it. I don't really know why, I just never did. And then I even considered decluttering it. I put it in my Get Ready With Me where I tried a bunch of different things that I was considering decluttering. This was one of the things in that video, and ever since then, I've been using this and I love it. And you know why I like this is because it's subtle. It's not totally matte, but it's not shimmery at all. It's that beautiful Hourglass baked formula. And this shade is very subtle, but it's actually perfect for my skin tone when I don't have any color or sun or self-tan or anything like that. It's also a fantastic crease color. This is like the perfect transitional crease shade for my skin tone, which is great as well. I love just putting some bronzer on my eyes. So that's a bonus, but I'm so happy that I pulled this out and tried it again because I was on the verge of decluttering and I would have been really mad at myself, I think, if I had. So this is definitely not a new product. These have been around forever, but I love it. This is a great soft neutral shade in Nude Bronze Light. I'm sure a lot of you love this product and I'm glad that I've rediscovered it. Of course, I have a few blushes because it wouldn't be a Blair video if I didn't have more than one blush to share with you. One of these is an older one, but I've been pulling it out again. And I have to mention it again because it's a favorite and I love it. This is what I have on today. It's Victoria Beckham Cheeky Posh Blush in the shade Fame. If you've been around my channel since last year around this time, I think that's maybe when I tried it the first time. I can't remember. But this color is just so beautiful. It doesn't really look that special, I guess, in the swatch, but this shade is so incredibly beautiful. It's like a blue-based wine color and it is so pretty. This is the blush I have on today and I love it. And I do love the Victoria Beckham cream blush formula. One of the reasons I really like this is because this one applies really well even if you've powdered your face, even if you used a powder bronzer like I did today. I set my face with the Makeup by Mario powder and then I used this Hourglass bronzer. I took this, kind of built it up on my brush and just tapped it on and I have no issues with applying it and it just brings back that really pretty, natural kind of glow to the skin. But what I love the most about it is the shade. This color is just, it's so good. It definitely reminds me of Patrick Ta, Oh She's Wanted or She's Wanted. It reminds me of that. It's just not as vibrant, so it's much more approachable to someone with my skin tone. Whereas, you know, if you have a deeper skin tone, She's Wanted is beautiful. It's a very similar tone. It just has a lot more pigment to it. But this is absolutely stunning. It's also really pretty on the lips as well. And I do love Victoria Beckham Beauty. It's one of my favorite luxury brands. So this is an absolute favorite for me, for sure. And then I have another favorite. Now this is a newer product and it's this from Fenty Beauty. These are the Suede powder blushes and I have the shade number 1, which is Bacon Cakes. If you are in a Sephora or an Ulta, I forget, yeah, Ulta has these as well. They sell Fenty. If you are in one of those stores and you have not swatched this formula, go over and swatch it. I truly don't know how to describe this formula. It is incredibly soft and suede and velvety feeling. It is the strangest thing and it has this beautiful kind of satiny finish, but that is the shade Bacon Cakes. It's a really nice kind of rosier terracotta, but it's not too much on someone with a lighter skin tone like me. This formula is so beautiful. I've been wearing this over and over and over and over. I was at Sephora last weekend. Was that last weekend? No, it was 2 weeks ago, I guess. And this is the blush I took with me. I wore this that day. They're very long wearing, very unique blush formula, not just the standard blush that we see over and over and over again. And the shade range is great as well. I love this Bacon Cakes color. It goes with everything. It's super neutral. Highly, highly recommend these from Fenty Beauty. If you've been watching any of my content for like the last month, these next two definitely won't shock you. These two brow products I just can't shut up about. I can't stop using them. I can't stop talking about them. This is my holy grail brow routine right now. It started with this product, the Maybelline Build-A-Brow, which I don't know how many times I've talked about this, but I absolutely love this product. And I know so many of you told me that you bought this and you also love it. This is the easiest brow pen I have ever used by far. Like nothing even comes close. It has this small little point, so you can see, which makes everything so much easier. And the pigment is sheer. It's not incredibly pigmented. So do you see that there? It's on the lighter side. Sometimes with pens like this, you get so much product out and then it kind of smears everywhere. It's dark. or just a lot of pigment and it's hard to work with. It's just not user-friendly unless you are just really experienced with makeup. This one you can use. I'm telling you, you can use this if you've never used a brow pen before. You can use this. I use the shade Ash Brown, but what I've been doing lately is actually using it with this. So this is the NYX Powder Louder Brow Pencil, and this is, I think, a new launch. I just randomly stumbled upon this one day when I was in Ulta. This one is the shade Ash Brown again. And what I do with this is I kind of outline my brow with it kind of here at my arch because I have like a little bit of a missing or just like a bare spot there. And then I'll take it underneath and just line a little bit underneath just to create a little bit of shape. And then once I've done that, then I take the pen and I create little hair-like strokes. And the combination of the two things is perfection. And then I just use the gel that's on the other end. Mine is looking kind of cloudy and gross because I've been using it so much and it's almost out, so I'm gonna have to replace this, but these are so good. Even this powder brow pencil on its own, if you like a really soft brow like an eyeshadow would give you, but you don't want to get an eyeshadow, get a brush, do all that, you would rather have a pencil, this is a great option for that as well. All right, for the eyes, I have a few things. These are all really easy to pick out though. The first one has to be this little trio from Chantecaille. This is the Cheetah trio. This came out a few months ago and it's a very basic neutral eyeshadow trio, but it is beautiful if you're like me and you like very simple, easy eye looks, you like neutrals. This is stunning, and for me personally, I love cats, so they really got me with the cheetah thing here. They do donate part of the proceeds from this collection to help save the cheetahs, which I love because I'm a cat person. That, I mean, come on, look at that, look at them. Now you tell me they aren't the cutest things you've ever seen. I know they're cheetahs and they're not very nice, but I love cats, so they really got me with that. But besides that, this is just my perfect eyeshadow trio, especially this shade here. This shade, literally just with your finger all over your eye, is the perfect one and done eyeshadow. It's neutral, it's not super cool or warm, probably leans a little bit more on the cooler side, but it's still pretty neutral to me. So what I do pretty much every time that I use this palette is I mix the two matte shades, so this beigey color and this like medium tone brown. Mix them together, throw that in the crease, then take my finger and use this all over the lid, and that's it. Literally that's it, but this is just what I love in an eyeshadow palette. I'm not super fancy or intricate with eyeshadow palettes or eyeshadow looks in general unless I'm doing like a specific video. So this is just a perfect eyeshadow trio for me. The other palettes I had to put in here because this has also been a favorite, whoops, for sure. And it's, of course, the Urban Decay Naked palette. They recently relaunched this. I'm sure a lot of you know all about it. And I had this palette years ago and decluttered it. Was mad at myself ever since. And so I jumped at the chance to buy a new one. And I'm so glad that I did. You can do a lot with this palette. It's very versatile. And they also updated the formula. And I will definitely say, from what I remember, this is a much improved eyeshadow formula to the original. So I have been loving it. I'm not sure if it's still available. I hope it is. I know you can only get this at Ulta, so I'll link it. Hopefully it's still available, but I definitely don't regret buying a new one of these at all. There's been one standout mascara for me in the last few months, and it's been this one from Lisa Eldridge. This is the Kitten Lash Mascara. A few months ago, I did a video trying Lisa Eldridge makeup. It was my first time trying her products. And this is one of the things that I ordered. Honestly, I just ordered it just last minute. I just added it to my cart. It wasn't even something I was just dying to try, but this has blown me away. I absolutely love this mascara. It is separating and lengthening. And I have had this open. It's been at least 2 months. I want to say it's been closer to 3 though. Maybe it's been more. It's definitely been more than 2 months. I don't know if it's been 3 quite yet. But there is literally no anything weird happening. It's not getting clumpy. It's very, like the wand is very clean every time I pull it out. It's a nice rubber, slightly curved wand. And every single time I use it, I'm just blown away by how good it looks in my lashes. It is a tubing mascara, so you do remove it with warm water, but I love it. The only thing that would be better is if she made it in brown. So I'm hoping maybe one day she will make this in brown. But honestly, I love it so much, I will continue to buy and use the black one. And last, for lip products, we'll start with what I have on my lips today. This Saie lip liner. This is the Lip Liner 101 in the shade Flirt. I picked this up, I don't know, a month and a half ago or so, and I love this lip liner. It is just a traditional wooden lip pencil, but it's actually pretty long wearing, and I love the shade. So this is the shade Flirt right here, but this is just a great neutral. I love lip liners, so I can never have enough with lip liners. I always want to try the new ones, but I've really been liking this one. The shade pairs well with so many things, and this is the lip liner I have on today. The other lip liner, though, that I have rediscovered, this is not new at all, but this has probably been my most used in the last 2 months, and it's this one from Anastasia. It's the lip pencil in Deep Taupe. This is a cooler toned brown, but it's not ashy looking. It's cool toned without looking like gray. This shade right here, Deep Taupe, this is like up there in like my top 3 lip liners now. This shade literally goes with everything. I've been reaching for this so much. This is also a wooden lip pencil. And the Anastasia ones, honestly, they last pretty well for being wooden. A lot of times these types of lip liners don't wear as well, but honestly, Deep Taupe wears pretty well. Now, it's not my most long wearing lip liner, but the main reason I'm putting this in here is because of the shade. This shade is perfection. It goes with everything. I don't have that on today though, but the product that I do have on is again from Chantecaille, and it's from the Cheetah collection. This is their lip veil. So there are 3 shades. I did get these in PR. I love all 3 shades, but this one is my favorite. It's the one I have on today. It's called Acacia. These are so nice. They're very hydrating on the lips. They have a lot of moisture to them. I believe they have jojoba seed oil in them, but they also have a good bit of pigment for that type of formula. This one is the shade Acacia, and it's a beautiful, very similar to Victoria Beckham Fame blush. This color though, for the fall, I just love. It's a beautiful berry color, and it's stunning. And honestly, these lip veils last pretty well on the lips for this type of product. Usually these kind of wear away pretty quickly, but honestly, this formula lasts pretty well on my lips, which I love. And then the last lip product are these from Edam. These are the Les Chouchous Lip Softening Balm. I have all the colors. A few months ago, they sent out PR, and I got these in PR, and I got all of them. And I mean, I had never heard of the brand. I didn't really have an opinion at all when I got them. I was just kind of curious about them. These are fantastic. So they have this metal tip applicator, which feels incredibly cold on your lips when you put it on. So it feels incredible. But these are so thick feeling on the lips, but in the best way possible. They feel kind of like a lip mask or a lip treatment, but they have color. They do make one that's a clear color. I have that one as well, and I love that one too. This is a great product, and I hope this brand gets more attention because these are fantastic. And I think this is their only like color product that they have. I think everything else is a skincare product, but if you like a balmier product that's very hydrating and feels thick on the lips, like you can really feel it there in a good way, you would love these. All right, that's it for the makeup, but I have a few skincare products to share. Let's talk about this one first. So this is the Anua Heart Leaf Pore Control Cleansing Oil. If you've been watching my videos for a few months, when I was in New York in July, I went to this store. It was called Senti, and it was basically a store full of Korean skincare, and it was absolutely amazing. I could have just stayed in there forever, truly. I was in there and I was kind of overwhelmed, to be honest, because there were so many options. But I picked this up because I've seen a few people I follow using this. I'm not typically a cleansing oil girl. I usually like a cleansing balm, but I have been converted to the cleansing oil, and this is such a good one. I love my cleansing balm, my pink one, the Clean at Zero that I've been talking about forever. I've been through so many of those and I love that, but honestly, I think I like the oil better now. This literally gets every single bit of makeup off. Every single bit. Eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, all of it. This gets it off and it's not harsh on the skin. It has a tiny bit of a smell, but it's pretty mild. It's nothing like super overpowering at all. But this is amazing. I will be buying a new one. I have just a little bit left there. I have probably about like that much left in there. This is fantastic though. If you like cleansing oils and you're looking for a new one, highly recommend this one. I think you can also get this on Amazon. You can get it on Stylevana, which is where I get my SPF from typically. So I'll link it, but this cleansing oil, this is fantastic. I love it. All right, another product. These are kind of random, but these are a lifesaver if you have dry skin or your skin is just irritated for whatever reason. These are the CosRX Snail Mucin Power Sheet Masks. So if you're familiar with the Snail Mucin in the bottle, I've been using that for years and I love it. This is basically that, but it's in a sheet mask. And when I tell you, if you have any bit of anything, irritation, dryness, flaking, whatever, maybe you overdid it with a retinol or another exfoliant, whatever it is, these will make your skin feel 1,000 times better. I usually do one of these after I use my Dermaflash, which is like, I don't know, every 3 weeks or so. That's typically when I use mine. But anytime my skin is just not feeling great, it's not looking great, it's looking dull, it's looking dry, not great, this is the mask that I've been using and they're so good. You get 10 in here in a box and I forget what the price is, but they're not super expensive. These are great. I think everybody should have a box of these in their bathroom because you never know when your skin is just not going to be feeling great. Sometimes it's that time of the month. Sometimes you use a product that didn't agree with your skin, whatever it is. These are great. Highly recommend from CosRX. And I also wanted to mention this. I just realized all 3 products that I'm mentioning are Korean skincare. I am all about Korean skincare lately. I constantly want to try new things because I just keep discovering things that I love. But this from Purito, this is the Wonder Relief Centella Serum Unscented. So this is for anyone with sensitive skin. This has no fragrance in it, which is great. It's just kind of like a gel serum. Kind of feels like a gel moisturizer, honestly, maybe a little bit thinner than that. But again, if you have any sensitivity, redness, your skin is just inflamed for one reason or the other, this is a great product to incorporate in your skincare routine. And I've tried a lot of calming serums. This is my favorite, and I believe it's the most affordable of all the ones that I've tried. This is a great product. I've been using this morning and night, and I really do think it makes a difference with my skin. I don't have acne-prone skin or anything like that, but I do have sensitive skin. My skin gets red very easily. It's very just sensitive to touch, anything like that. It gets irritated easily. So I like having something like this. And this is a great product. Again, a Korean product, and it's amazing. I also wanted to mention this from Suede. This is the lash serum I've been using for the past 2-3 months. This is by Suede and it's their Pro Eyelash Serum. I've been through different eyelash serums in the past. I used Eyelash for a really long time. It worked great for me. The results were amazing, but after using that for a little over a year, I noticed it seemed to start irritating my eyes. My eyes just, every time I would use it, just got really, really red and just felt kind of sore and sensitive. I don't really know how to explain it, but I just felt like that serum was not working for me anymore, so I quit using it. Around that time, Suede sent me this one, and in the PR box there was a card in there that said it's prostaglandin free, which if you know anything about lash serums, typically what upsets your eyes or can have negative side effects, things like that, are prostaglandins. And I'm no doctor, no, I don't know anything about the science behind it, but this one is prostaglandin free. So I decided to give it a try. I used it for a few weeks and I wasn't really seeing anything. I was very disappointed because I was using it consistently every night, and it'd been about a month, and I was like, man, I guess it's not working because I haven't noticed anything. But I kept using it, and at about 6 weeks, I noticed a difference. I had more lashes and they were growing longer. It just took a while. So I do think this one works, and luckily it doesn't have the prostaglandins in it, so it does not seem to bother my eyes. It does work, it just takes a little bit of time. So that's the only thing. This is not like a quick fix. You have to really be consistent and give it some time to really work, but it does work if you stick with it. So this is the lash serum I've been using. It's from Suede, and I love it. I really do think it makes a difference, and it is prostaglandin free. I do have one fragrance that I wanted to share. I don't share fragrance a ton, mainly because I wear the same things kind of over and over, but I did get a new one recently. This is by Anina Bing, and it's Rosewood. So I got this for my birthday. My husband got this for me, but when I was in New York a few months ago, I was in an Anina Bing store, and as I was leaving, they had samples of this in the front. And as I was walking out, I just smelled it really quick, just out of curiosity, and it was one of those things where I loved it immediately. You know how sometimes you smell a fragrance and for whatever reason you just love it instantly? That was this for me. So for my birthday, I told a little birdie that I really wanted this, so I got this, and I absolutely love this fragrance. I did write down what the notes are because I'm terrible at explaining notes. It is a floral smoked rose with amber and sandalwood. That's at least what they say on the website. To me, it's a muskier smell, which I typically like musky smells, but it has a little bit of floral in there, and it's the rose, but it's not overpowering. It still kind of keeps that musky quality with just a little bit of a fresh floral scent. But I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite perfumes I've smelled in a really long time. It's always kind of hard for me to describe scents, and scent is so personal. You know, everybody likes different things, but this is basically me in a scent, and I absolutely adore it. This bottle is also huge, so this is gonna last me a really long time. It's very clean, simple, black and white, very pretty to look at. I love this from Anina Bing. All right, just a few more things I wanted to mention. Let me talk about this hair product, and I'll start by saying I did not have high expectations for this product. I bought it because of Abby Young. I saw her in one of her YouTube videos. She was talking about this product, and I was in Target one day, I saw it, and I just decided to pick it up. This product from Dove, this is the Bond Strength Peptide Complex shampoo, and I have the conditioner as well. I also have the hair mask from this line, and I love this. I am someone that typically spends more on shampoo and conditioner. Ever since I started coloring my hair, 5-6 years ago, I've done that. When I was younger, I used Dove and other things, but before that, or in the last few years, I've used, Orbe, Pureology, Biolage, things like that. So I didn't have high hopes for this, but I love this, and I think this rivals high-end hair care. I'm just gonna say it. I have used this, it's not empty, but we're like down to here at this point. This does really well in my hair. My hair looks smooth and it feels very soft after I use that, and I don't have soft, silky hair. My hair, it may not look like it, but my hair is a coarse texture. It has a tendency to be dry. I do color my hair, so I don't have like shiny, fine, silky hair. So if anything, it makes my hair feel good, strong, just healthy, I'm all about it, and this does that for me. Now, I don't know the science behind all of this. It's Bond Repair, our Advanced Bond Rescue and Protect hair care line powered by peptide complex, designed for damaged hair, strengthens bonds from the inside out. I don't know about all the science behind it. If you're into that kind of stuff, I would follow Abby Young if you don't already. She's great, but this I absolutely love. And a bonus is it smells really, really good. Dove, I remember that from years ago when I did use Dove. Their shampoo and conditioner smells really good. And this does. So if you're looking for a more affordable option, this combo here is great. I highly recommend. I can't not mention this brush in this video because I've talked about it in pretty much every video for the past month. My favorite brush right now, literally, is this one, the N14 from Decay Beauty and Nikki LaRose. This is my favorite concealer brush. I've been down many concealer brush avenues before, and you know, I switch them up from time to time. But this one, I think this one is here to stay for a very long time because I don't want to use any other concealer brush but this one. It is the perfect size. It's a little bit tapered on the tip here so you can really get under your eye. It's dense enough so that you can really press the concealer in and get a lot of coverage. If you don't have this brush for concealer, you need this brush. I don't say you need this brush that often, but you need this brush. It's great. Highly recommend. I have all the BK Beauty Nikki LaRose brushes. This one is my favorite from the set though, by far. I need to order like at least two more of these because I can't live without it. And one final thing I wanted to mention are my earrings. These earrings are by Jenny Bird, and every time I wear them, I get at least one Instagram message, a comment on YouTube, something about these earrings, and I love them. I love them so much. They're very different. They're two-toned, obviously, so they're gold and silver. I'm typically a gold person, but I don't know why. I just really liked the two-toned here. I think they come in solid silver as well, but I just think they're cute and different, and I love them. They're pretty great quality. They're not 14 karat gold or anything, but the quality is still really good. They're heavy, really nice. So I love them. I wanted to mention them because, like I said, a lot of people have asked me about these. I try to link them whenever I wear them, but they do kind of go in and out of stock. So hopefully they're in stock when this video goes up. But these are by Jenny Bird, and I really love her designs. These are the only earrings that I own from her, but I just love her overall aesthetic. She just does very simple, clean, classic looking jewelry, and these I love. All right, that is everything. I know that was a lot, but I wanted to share just the things that I'm really enjoying and loving right now. I love to really save these videos and wait until I have a really good group of products to share with you. As always, I will link everything that I can in the description box and in YouTube shopping for you. If you do purchase anything through any of my links, it does help my channel and support me. They are affiliate links, so thank you so much if you do that. And if you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. And I will see you again very soon. Remember, simply be you. Bye.